Second half of this lesson is really focusing on horizontal and vertical lines. Now I realize we've focused on horizontal and vertical lines a little bit in Learning Target 15 and a little more in Learning Target 17, but we want to be able to tell if the line is horizontal or vertical, and we do have some information from our lesson previous when we talked about horizontal and vertical initially, but I want to give you a little bit more information. Step one is going to be to write that equation in standard form. It'll be a little bit easier for you to see. So remember, standard form is ax plus by equal to c. So I see an x here, which means I have a 1 in front of that x. We don't have any y terms, so that's going to be 0 times y, because anything times 0 is 0, equal to c, which is 4. So we've got that first step. Step 2 is going to be to create a t-table of values and plot these points on the graph. So I'm going to create my xy table and see what I get. So remember, x is independent, so therefore I am going to, but here's the catch, it says x is equal to 4. And so I'm going to put in values for y. I'm going to say that y is equal to 1. Well, if I put in y equal to 1 right here, 0 times 1 is 0, I get x equals 4. Well, what if y equals 0? 0 times 0 is 0, x equals 4. If I put in y equal to negative 1, well, negative 1 times 0 is 0, x still equals 4. So then I'm going to plot these points on the graph. So I've got 4, 1, 4, 0, 4, negative 1. That looks like to me, when I take a look and identify whether it's horizontal or vertical, this is a vertical line. Not hard to distinguish. And I need to give the slope. Well, when I look at the slope here, this is a change of 0, and this is a change of negative 1, negative 1. And so then I end up with m, bring this up so you can see it a little bit better, m is equal to a change of negative 1, which is our change in y, over 0. And if we recall, we've been re-emphasizing you cannot divide by 0. If you put it into a calculator, you will end up with an error. So because this is 1 over 0, this is undefined. So just like our notes said a couple of days ago, that if the slope is undefined, the equation is going to be x equals. Same thing goes back the other way. If the equation is x equals, the slope is undefined. Now looking at this next example, we've got y equals negative 5. If I start off by writing this in standard form, a times x, which would be 0 times x, plus b times y, which would be 1 times y, is equal to negative 5. So if I create an xy table, it says y equals negative 5. Well, if I put in values for x, let's go negative 2, let's go 0, and go positive 2. Well, if I put in negative 2 for x right here, negative 2 times 0 is 0. And then you get plus y. 0 plus y is y equals negative 5. Well, if I put in 0 for x, 0 times 0 is 0. Anything times 0 is 0, which is why this ends up being negative 5 across the board. So if I look at plotting these points, I'm going to have negative 2, so I left 2, down 5. And then I go 0, negative 5, and 2, negative 5. I'm going to have a horizontal line, which if you recall, the slope here your slope is going to be negative 0 over 2, because it's changing y over changing x, which is 0. Because if you recall, we said that if it has a 0 slope, it will be, the equation will be y equals. Likewise, if it's y equals, it will have a slope of 0. So the next piece of this is for you to rewrite the equation 8x minus 3y equals 12 in slope-intercept form, and then write an equation of a vertical line. That should be very easy and very quick for you to do. Please bring any questions for you to class and try to write your summary before you come to class.